Well, you're welcome to this breaking news all the way from Daura. Obi in Daura. It was really a tough battle between obedience and those who are strong followers of Reno Omokri and former Senator Saraki, when they were talking about that Saraki, I was wondering why he had to jump into that fray. When they were talking about Obi not being at Daura for the burial ceremony of our late president. Why did Farah Saraki jump into that fray? Was it that same Saraki?
No, I don't think it's that same Saraki.
It's not that same Saraki.
No, it's not a former Senate
because
president.
I didn't check into that.
No, it's not that former Senate president.
So I said, how can when you mention Reno,
the two parts are two.
Yes, why would Reno jump into what Saraki is talking about?
Well, but in our political terrain today, nothing surprises me really.
I was surprised.
It may also be the same Saraki.
No, it's not that.
To be honest with you, I didn't spend time personally to look at Reno's submission on that. And when I had Saraki, I said I was going to find my time to look at the Saraki, whether it's the same Saraki.
No.
So graciously,
it's not Bukola.
No, it's not Bukola.
But Obi stood up and said that, what joins us together is bigger than what tears us apart. We're talking in Daura, himself, Atiku and El-Rufai got there before him. He got there and all that, and said it's a very sad moment for the country. You can't take it away that General Buhari or President Buhari, as you ever want to call him, has served this country meritoriously as a soldier. Maybe in the later part of his presidency, he wanted to be Nigeria's president, civilian president. Maybe that one didn't go down too well with Nigerians. But we must not always take the downside. There are the upsides too that we take. We can't forget in a hurry war against the discipline. Whether it's a Diagbon that did it or is him that did it, there were two pairs. That was on the other side. So we can't forget that in a hurry. At least Nigerian shaped up in a war. In fact, when he became president of this country, the second term, at the mention of Buhari, everybody shaped up. Do you understand?
What happened thereafter?
Only God knows. Only God, the character of a man is only God that knows everything.
All right, Ghana, let's look at this in details. Why Peter Obi? I was using that initial introduction to explain to many people because somebody had called me earlier, sincerely, let me confess. Somebody had called me earlier that it was President Saraki, former Senate President Saraki. I said, don't worry, we'll clear that it's not former president. I tried to use that opportunity to clear that it wasn't former president. It was Reno. Why was Reno bent at Peter Obi? Atiku, we know, probably just got there today, and so many other dignitaries will be visiting even after today. Why was Reno bent at Peter Obi? What is this obsession with Peter Obi or Reno, about Peter Obi? Why the obsession? Is Peter Obi the only person that has, moved up to want to lead Nigeria?
Okay, well, for Reno, basically, having looked at Reno's video he had made about the same Peter Obi over the years, you can only but imagine why Reno is doing this. And I can tell you without fear that what Reno Omokri is doing today, I can only say he is being paid to do that. Because I do not see any reason why a man cannot be stable. When I mean not be stable is that a man who says this today and tomorrow is saying this. We've seen videos circulating around of the same Reno, praising this same Peter Obi. And a few years down the line, this same Reno, who has been out of the country, who went on self-exile. Because I do not think that at any point in time anybody was chasing Reno. He was just afraid of what was not pursuing him.
It was still significant to be chased.
Very insignificant. Reno is too insignificant for Nigerians for the Nigerian government to look, but he just wanted to make himself relevant within the period of time, and he went aloof, probably because he felt like he had done some things in the closet, and he was probably thinking that they were going to come after him. So for reasons best known to him, he went aloof. But however, he had come back.
So that's the saying, they say, wicked man runneth.
When no man pursueth, exactly. And I can tell you that.
Also give you the title of a pastor.
Yes. When a man also preaches the Bible at some point, you can only but also imagine that maybe after this session, he has a small church where two or three are gathered. We don't know who called them. However, like I tell people, the only thing Reno is doing now personally, I feel like when a man is broke, Reno has been out for so many years.
What does he do? What is his job?
That's the question.
Singing praises of those.
That's the question. Now, you see, I don't blame him. So let's take, for instance, Reno was out for about 8 years. All throughout the Buhari's period, he was out. Yeah. And let us ask ourselves, that means within this period of time, I can assure you that Reno wasn't doing anything. So there were no income coming. And the small money he made during the Goodluck Jonathan's administration, he had spent them because he was traveling everywhere. And knowing fully well that he was broke, coming back, the only thing for him to do was to find himself around the political terrain where he would get some kind of financial sustainability. And that was what he is just doing. Because he also knows that as he come back, if he not get this immediate money, Nigerians go know so he broke. Yeah. So he was just deceiving us, wearing big agbada, snapping pictures up and down, for us to think that he had some kind of money. Yeah. Reno came back broke. If it is say with a lie, may show us how much the account be as at the 2015 when he left, and how much the account is as at the time he came back to begin to campaign for APC. Yeah. And he knows that the only way he can make money is for him to stand at the opposite side, criticizing the person of Peter Obi, having some kind of financial backrolling from the APC government.
On the popularity of Peter Obi.
Basically. And like he said he's a content creator. And he must be at this end for him to get more viewership to make money from his content. So I will never take Reno Omokri serious.
So what is creating his content?
All right,
what is creating his content?
Come to Buhari. Yes. You know, having cleared that initially, that insinuation that Saraki was involved. Saraki was never involved. It's a different version of Saraki. So now, Reno was on his own. This same Reno went to UK when Buhari was president at a time just to protest upon hearing that Buhari was somewhere.
He harassed Buhari out of UK.
Buhari, you know, up and down. It's the same Reno that is now holding on to P2B for not visiting, for not being there. I mean, for a burial of a former president. I mean, Kano state government had declared the entire week
Katsina State
as entire week as a holiday, showing that the event continues, not going to be a one-day thing. That P2B wasn't there that yesterday, which I know that too many other dignitaries from Nigeria political space will be there continuously. Why is it that Reno, who had felt that Buhari never performed well, took it upon himself?
Well, like Ghana said that Reno is answering the call of his paid master. Even the one that the paid master didn't tell him to do, he will do beyond that because he wants to collect more money. From what we see, Reno is not the voice of Tinubu. Reno, we don't know him to be in APC. Reno is not the spokesperson of Buhari's children. Do you understand? He said that Buhari was the one that took over from Southern Sokoto as the premier of the North. Now, I don't know who told him that. Has he suddenly ascribed a position to Buhari? The Buhari that he insulted, the Buhari that he said was something from Sudan.
Yes.
All of a sudden, Reno has changed his mind. Well, some of our viewers said that we are the one that is giving Reno some
relevance.
Some relevance.
No, but that is not also, call his name. That is not also true. I think I stand to disagree when people say talking about Reno is giving Reno relevance. That's not true. So my reason is this: whether we like it or not, Reno has a small portfolio of followership who think or believe in him. Yes. So if Reno passes a wrong information, it needs to be cleared. And so it is important that when people like Reno talk, no matter how small we think its relevance is, we need to shape him and put him in proper perspective.
And
now he has succeeded himself in politicizing the burial
of exactly,
saying that the North will not give P2B votes simply because at the first day of the burial he wasn't there.
Who is Reno to decide? Who is Reno to decide who the Northerners will give votes?
So that's why most of the people that are undecided or have a fickle mind or a mind that is not strong, that is convincing, we now have to bring their mind back and say, don't mind Reno. what he's saying is not true, because fake news can bring about issues in the society.
Yeah.
So knowing that Reno is having what you call fake news, we have to make sure we correct that.
All right, let's look at Buhari. For most part of his, particularly first tenure, he was really, really very sick. You know, the worst was in 2017 when he, for almost 104 days, he was out of the country, and people were beginning to get worried, you know, and all that. And then the second tenure, he became a little bit much more healthy, stronger. Even upon leaving office, he was really, really looking healthy. You know, everybody was just wondering, in just 2 years, his health deteriorated. But most importantly, that we do not have local hospital where, you know, if for any reason there is emergency, what is an old man, somebody that died at 82, is an old man. For any reason there is emergency, you have to put the person into the plane. You have to fly for over 5 hours before the person will be attended to. And the funny thing, or where is it really funny, or the insulting thing, is that in the same hospital, we also have our former president, Abdul Salam,
Abubakar.
all two of them there. And none could get a hospital where they could be attended to in Nigeria. Buhari was in government between 1983, 31st December 1983 to 1985. So the same Buhari 2015 to 2023, no singular hospital that can attend to any of them. Although we don't know the ailment that he was diagnosed of. What is that on the shape of a nation?
Okay, so first, I would like to start by just touching a little bit of what he stopped talking about Reno Omokri. Now, my question for Reno is, at what point did the Buhari he is now praising today now changed for him to praise him? Was he at death?
Or when he joined
Tinubu.
No, or when he,
yes.
When he joined Tinubu's...
You know, so at what point? I think...
That converted him to the leader of
I think Reno needs to...
The article he campaigned for in 2023
yes,
is no longer...
No. It's now, you know, the late Buhari. However, you just asked a question. I think that one of the issues we have, now dating back to during the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan time, when the late Yar'Adua was also out of the country for a very long period of time, and, you know, legally, the things that were supposed to be done didn't happen. For instance, years after Goodluck Ebele Jonathan came back and said the letter that was written to be transmitted through the National Assembly was held back by one of the aides of Yar'Adua. And to my dismay, till today, Goodluck did not also call who that aide is. So I think we're having a lot of problem in terms of leadership and calling people to account, you know. And because of that scenario that happened within the Yar'Adua's time, that also played during the Buhari's period, where Buhari was out for such a long time, yet the country was stagnant. Nothing happened. However, if you look at the amount that was said to be paid in that hospital per night was said to be between
the most expensive private
3,000 pounds
in London.
3,000 pounds per night.
Who's paying for that eventually?
We do not need to ask. We know who it's paying. They are paying with the taxpayers' money. And I can also assure you, like the former head of state, Abdulsalam Abubakar, is also still there. It is also still possible that they are still paying his bill with the Nigerian taxpayers' money. And that means within this period of time, 6,000 pounds from the one we know was going down the drain every day to our former head of state. And now, how much does it take to fix?
And Buhari spent 10 days and 2 weeks.
How much does it? And this is the one we know.
This is the one we know, yeah.
The one he went without our knowledge. We cannot account for it.
Do you know, I'll come to you again on that cost. Do you know something that boggles me? For the first time, Buhari's aides were admitting that he was hospitalized.
Yes.
In all the ones that he was hospitalized and came back safe, they never
told
us he was hospitalized.
Not even, let's back forward, let's backtrack.
Is this one admitted that he was hospitalized? This one he can't die.
Okay, but let's backtrack a little bit. Shehu Garba came out and said, when they said there were rats in Aso Rock, Buhari was actually sick. That's what he said.
At what point? At what point did he come to say this?
Recently.
So you see, this is the problem again I have with Nigerians.
No transparency.
Why? No. Why is it that? Why is it that we feel comfortable that people come out later to tell us the truth? What are we doing with that fact as at today? So is Shehu Gauba expecting that Nigerians should now clap for him that he has come back to tell us
the
what?
truth? The truth.
I think it is a problem. We do not need to know the truth later.
I mean, there's something
because we are not doing anything with
justice
it.
Delayed.
It's justice denied. Now let us go back to this issue. £3,000 a day per night for the former head of state. How much does it take? Okafor, a few years ago, I went to Kubwa General Hospital.
Yeah.
I had my friends who went with me, and I was shocked to know that women who put to bed, who delivered, were not able to be discharged because they could not pay as low as 2,500 naira.
You know,
that's less than 3 years ago.
Let's go back.
That is the kind of hospital, that's the kind of health care that we run, that we have in Nigeria as of today.
Remember when we held it against former governor of Abia State, Basu,
yes,
when he was giving pregnant women 500 naira.
Yes.
And we were asking him, what would 500 naira
do? He said it's big money.
He said, go and ask the pregnant woman what 500 naira would do for
that is big money.
Hold on. Let us look at things from other perspective. We've had Gowon is still alive. That's General Gowon is still alive. We had Moritala is no longer alive. We have Obasanjo. Omokri is still alive. Shagari is no longer alive. Then Babangida is still alive. Buhari just passed on. Abdul Salam is still alive. Obasanjo is still alive. Jonathan is still alive. Now, most of all these presidents come from different geopolitical zones, from the south to the north. In every geopolitical zone, if they build a hospital that is a 5-star hospital in that region, in every geopolitical zone, everybody would have been enjoying it. Look at the shortest distance of a head of state to Abuja is Niger State. In Niger State, 2 military head of state comes from that place.
And 2 of them are alive.
Yes, 2 of them are still alive till today. No hospital of that sort. Not only hospital. We don't have an express road going from Federal Capital Territory to Mina. No railroad. No road. Nothing. It's Governor Bago that just did the airport to a standard where, I mean, when we took our airport to Kaduna, when they were fixing Abuja airport, they would have been using Niger State airport. But because there's none, and they have a very high proximity.
They have a rail system from Abuja
to do you understand? It should have been a one-shot, run. Now, what I'm saying, we normally talk about nepotism and tribalism. Most of these politicians are not fair to us in this country. Not to their kinsmen, not to their brothers, not to their region, not to anybody. I remember when Goodluck Jonathan was retiring home to Utoke. It was rainy season at the time, May 2015. They put a rug on a mud. That means even to Otuoke, there was no road going there. Now, most of the time, all of us that are religious bigots, that are ethnic bigots as well, we come up, we say, this one is a Christian, this one is a Muslim, this one. Which one has taken development to their area? The worst hits in banditry is Katsina State. The worst hit. One of the worst is Katsina State. One of the most, let me use the word, baddest governor that we had during Buhari time was Masari. He was bringing in bandits that were having AK-47, and he was meeting with them. Exactly. So tell me, what has Katsina people benefited from Buhari? What has Niger people benefited from Abdul Salam and IBB? What has Bayelsa benefited from Goodluck Jonathan?
You know, where used to be one street to town.
No, it's still the same.
What has the Plateau people benefited from Gowon? Or you say he grew up in Kaduna, in Zaria.
I think it's more of a share the gross incompetence
of all the leaders.
Yes.
Rather than just looking at it from tribal or
Now,
whatever.
sorry, let me finish this. When people like Reno do this kind of things, what they try to do is join people's head together.
Simple.
And don't look at how good can we get a good leader. And don't put our eyes. Reno needs to be flogged out of this country.
Very unpatriotic.
see,
He's an unpatriotic Nigerian.
You see,
he likes a contentious.
Yes,
That's why he strikes.
Of course, what do you expect from a content creator? However, I want us to look at this. From the Debt Management Office in 2024, as at October, he said Nigeria borrowed a total sum of 5.84 trillion naira. That was what we borrowed, right? Now, in that same year, 2024, as at October, they said Nigeria spent 2.38 million on medical tourism.
$1 million?
$1 million on medical tourism. Yes. Now, as at that time, the dollar was 1,550 naira to a dollar. If you times that amount, this is what it will give you: 3.15 trillion naira. Now, this is in 6 months.
It's service to the nation.
This is 6 months. That means if you times what we spend on medical tourism in 1 year, that is times 2 of 3 trillion. That's about 6 trillion naira. Far more than what Nigeria borrowed.
So borrow to treat ourselves.
Yes.
No,
do you understand?
Go back to Reno was preoccupied that P2B was not there at the first day.
Yes.
He wasn't at the airport to receive
Buhari's
remains.
Now, in the first place,
that's what
who
he's
made
focused.
it
He wasn't at the airport to receive Buhari's remains.
now, in the first place, who even made it mandatory that the best thing you can do is to go and pay condolence visit?
There's nothing like
It
that.
is not mandatory. And who even tell us that we can be political friends, but we may not be real friends?
Yes.
And what joins the both of us together may just be politics. And I also do not want to believe that pressure was being mounted on Peter Obi to go on that visit.
No, I don't think
do
so.
not
I don't think so.
Going is okay. Going there is.
Yes, no. But I do not want to believe.
Peter Obi went 1 year and was mother died.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
I don't know if you understand.
I want us to pick on that statement that P2B made while in Katsina.
Yes.
Katsina State. He said when he was offering his condolences, he said, in moments like this, we must remember the bonds that unite us beyond politics.
Yes.
What are those bonds that unite us beyond politics? Is it the unemployment we are facing?
No.
Is it the poverty we are facing?
No.
What is it that unites
Okay, so let me
us
give
beyond
you
politics?
because I will.
What does it
The
mean
bonds that unite us beyond politics is the dynamic nature of what Nigeria is today. Forget the leaders.
Can you break it down?
Now,
the dynamic.
you see, in every government or in every geopolitical area, they have what they call advantages. What you have in America today is the advantage they have is their population. We have a very big population, and collectively, people do better than when they are smaller. It's a proven fact. Do you understand?
It's economies of scale.
Thank you. Do you understand? What you don't get here, you get it here. What you don't get here, you get it here. But what we have not gotten is good leadership. If we're to be that we had good leadership, listen, as I normally say that as good as Muhammadu Buhari impressed me, that integrates me more to Nigerian in the north, with the same in the south, with the same in the west. My state is Edo State, sitting at the boundary between west and east, west and north. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So the bonds that we all share, ideas that we share. I'm sure you have a lot of fantastic people from the north that are Muslim, that are Hausa, that are from the north. Do you understand? So that's the bond that put us together.
And I'm glad you came to Abuja, because only God knows what you would have been doing in Nigeria if you were still there.
Look, between you and I, when we meet in America or London or France, we don't check whether we are Hausa, Igbo or Yoruba. We stand together as one. Listen, the knowledge that brings us together.
My closest friend when I was in Penn State is from Jos.
Okay.
And I'm from Delta State.
Yes.
In fact, I met one woman somewhere in Dallas. She married a thief man. She's an Isha woman. She's one of the best pediatricians in Dallas. I mean,
and once you see that, you say, my brother.
My brother.
In fact, let me tell you something. They charged me $1,200 for my daughter. She collected $50 from us. $50. He said Nigeria. He said don't mind all those people they do they sick. He said I beg carry your picky come up for your $50 just for administrative purpose. $50. What I would have paid $1,200. So what I'm trying to say is that the unity that we have, listen, you can't buy it from anywhere, and the diversity also makes us, you know, the beauty of Nigeria so wonderful. So when this politician now try to take advantage of that diversity to divide us the more,
turn it a line of
that's where the wicked is. That's
Okay, but for me, sorry, I think I see that also from a different perspective. That's why we're humans. So I feel like the statements basically had to do with, when you say in times like this, we should remember what unites us together is more than what divides us. You see, they are all dead today because they are politicians. Whether you're from the north, from the south, east, wherever you are, it's because they are politicians. And why are they politicians? It's because they want to govern or rule or lead over the popularity, the majority, the people of Nigeria. So what has brought us here is a common interest of being politicians, but politicking for the people. So in times like this that we have opportunity to come together, we should understand that we are here for a reason. The first reason is that we are politicians, and we must play politics for the sake of the people of which we have decided to be at this part. So it's more of like, it's an opportunity for us to meet. So why are we here? We're here because I'm Peter Obi, I'm a politician. You're here because you are Atiku, you are a politician. You're here because you are Buhari, you are a politician. But however, why are we politicians? It's because we want to rule over a people. And why are we ruling over these people? It's to give them the best that they deserve. So when we have opportunity to come together, we must think of how to move the nation forward. Basically, that's what I think.
Forward is very important. Let's look at this tradition. Is a tradition. Whether we would continue with that or not, I don't know. Such that when somebody dies, people begin to talk the good things the person has done, even the bad things the person has done. They'll begin to find a way to shoot. You know, for people in leadership position, because once you are in a public space, you are controlling those things that belongs to the people. The money you are appropriating belongs to the people. It's not your personal asset. Should people stop holding you responsible? Places like in America, they could even jail even you know you are dead.
They welcome the grave. No, it's not a lie.
It's not a lie matter. So when you administer the resources that belongs to the people and you do those things that are wrong, for example, acting like you are aiding, you know, vagabonds, aiding all these terrorists to invade people and attack villages without you commanding or allowing your security agents to go after them and things like that, actually ensuring that Nigerians die in the hands of these terrorists. And when you die, people begin to talk about
you in a good way.
Find a way to talk. Does it pass? My question is, does it pass a lesson to those who are ruling us now
to continue their evil?
When once they die,
we start talking about the No. You know, religion, in a sense, has a part to play in this. They say you don't talk bad of the dead. We don't forget where.
But they should be, even they should be leading churches and leave our
politics alone. Now this is it. In Germany, for example, everyone that supported Nazi Germany, everyone that supported the Holocaust, that played a part in the Holocaust, even when they were dead, they were still taken to court. And their family were marked. There's something Jonathan said the other day. He said, we should build a big museum.
Yes.
And everyone that had deprived Nigeria of development will put their name there. So that when their grandchildren get there, they will see their name there and their pictures. He said that's what we should do. Look, we should not talk bad of the dead. If you have done anything bad, this country, so that it will be a deterrent
to those
who are doing now and aggregating land that they don't have to themselves and to their grandchildren and to their great-grandchildren. There will be Igbo smokers, colos, and all that. We must talk about what they have done that is not right. If they did anyone right, we will talk about it. I just said just now that Buhari did what was right in 1983. Of course, he took over from the civilian and plunged us back to military rule. But we saw war against indiscipline. He shaped Nigeria. We were not throwing deaths on the floor. You know, everybody was afraid of corruption because you go to jail. You know, all those kind of things. So that's one of the things that a lot of people said, Buhari is coming back. That means we are going back to that era. But when he came, let me tell you something. He failed of Nigeria. I was on the train going to Kaduna one day. I met a Fulani Katsina boy. He said, Buhari should, long time ago, he should not rule. He was still in government. He said, he should leave this country. One of the things Buhari would have done to put his name on the annals, great book of Nigeria, would have been to do a one-term period and leave. But he didn't do that. He continued, and things became bad and bad.
Let's put it, one of the best ways to get people to behave properly is to use the instrument of punishment and instrument of reward.
Yes.
Somebody does something good, you reward him.
Yes.
Somebody does something bad, you punish the person. And the punishment should be proportionate.
Yes.
You know, in this case, we see people who really steal from us, not even being punished at all. Why we focus on petty thieves. The same thing is happening in insecurity. You see terrorists going to sack the entire villages. They don't get arrested.
No one was
caught. You talk about amnesty, but maybe somebody who robs supermarket is languishing in jail. What is it that has befallen our security agents that they do not have the capacity to function on their own? You know, if you go to places like America, it is very, apart from the military, the police is unlikely. It's only the commander-in-chief that commands the military.
Yes.
But for the police, they don't need a governor. They don't even need a corrupt president to tell them what to do. Is it our law that keeps everything at the table of the president? So that once he fails, every other thing fails. How do we start repairing and reconstructing our instrument of reward and punishment such that when one man fails, every other thing does not crumble?
So you see, on that part, first, like PK said, he said, do not speak ill about the dead. You know, the Bible also said, let the dead bury the dead. So if you don't want us to speak ill about you, when you die, your corpse should be there. Let the dead people come and take your corpse and go and bury you for justice, peace, and tranquility.
Yes.
However, like you said, you see, I was watching one very top guy in security, one Kunle Olawumi, who spoke a few years ago and talked about how the DSS, how the NIA, you know, had more than 500 names of Nigerians who were sponsoring terrorists and Boko Haram, and that those names were presented to Buhari, and still Buhari had no guts to mention the names of those people. Unfortunately, that they were people who were in government at the time, politicians leading. Now, you see, if we do not take it upon ourselves, like you said, to reward people who should be rewarded and punish those who should be punished, we will not go anywhere. And you see, it has become a tradition. Of course, the Tinubu government will celebrate Buhari today because they also feel and want that by the time they leave, whoever take over should also praise them and make them look good because they celebrated a Buhari. I think it is becoming a weird culture that we are now beginning to accept, or rather politicians are beginning to force it on us to accept it. And it is a problem. I think a time has come where if people do evil, I don't understand why it is difficult for our politicians to name people who have done evil. And I also do not think that our military do not have the capacity to stop what is happening today. I don't think so. They do. But unfortunately, we now run a democratic system of government where a military general do not just have the right to wake up in the morning and give commands. The command must come through a chain politically, a directive from the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's the commander-in-chief.
I wanted to say
one thing. And so today, even though the military has all it takes to take over this country back and hand it over to the country, it is difficult for them to act because they are waiting for order. And the order has refused to come because the one who is in aim of affair knows that whatever he does will affect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his political cronies. And so they have decided to sacrifice the entire nation for their selfish political reasons.
There's something I wanted to say that Buhari did that we must never forget. We saw Obasanjo rule this country 8 years. We didn't see nepotism.
Yeah.
Yes.
We saw Jonathan, Yaradua Jonathan. There was no nepotistic tendencies with them. But when Buhari came in, we saw nepotism at its best, at its peak. But when Tinubu came in, he said they were going to continue from where Buhari stopped. He took nepotism to the next level.
That's nepotism.
You see, like what Ghana said just now, these are what emboldens people. I say, now, a Yoruba man will say, there is our turn.
Yes.
When Fulani man was there, is that not what he did? It's our turn now. So when the next Hausa man is coming, it will be their turn times two.
You know, you see, before we close, somebody said it to my ear sometime early this year. Yes, even though Tinubu did not perform, he likes the truncation Tinubu brought. He likes the way Tinubu is dealing with the North, and he likes that. I said, no, we are not looking for who will deal with the North.
No, we want development in the North.
We want development in Nigeria.
We want development in Nigeria. Every nook and cranny.
So if you remove a Fulani,
I want to be able to go to somewhere in the north during my holidays and go and rent and understand the culture of the people.
If you man from a position, you put a Yoruba man.
Yes.
Is that development?
No.
We are not looking for who will deal with the
No,
North.
look, don't you want to go to Yakari Games?
Yes.
We want to go to Obudukato Ranch.
I want to
go to Obosi.
I want to go and see the beautiful girls they talk about in Fulani. Fulani beautiful.
All right.
However, before we close, I think also that Nigerians should think President Buhari is not the first president that has died.
Yeah.
Yar'Adua passed.
Yeah.
But if we look at Yar'Adua till date, how many persons, if you even go online till today to check, that insulted Yar'Adua?
They are still mourning. Nigerians are still mourning.
They are still mourning Yar'Adua. Do you understand? So the picture of what they are seeing, the reaction of what they are seeing Nigerians display about the Buhari's death is a reflection of where Buhari took Nigerians to and what Nigerians feel about the personality of Buhari.
And you can't change it.
You cannot change it.
The pain is there.
You cannot change it.
Yeah, you can't change
Right.
it.
Just like Peter Obi said, what unites us should
It's greater than what
yeah,
divides
what we
us.
should be concerned at this time, particularly when it's beyond politics. Let's hope, like we said, that God gives peace to the dead and their comfort the living. Thank you for joining us on this breaking news, and we'll be right back.